Sometimes, when I make a great effort, I can remember her scent, the sweetness of her breath. Serena. Serena? Why can't I see you more clearly? Why can't I even remember? This was taken on that crisp winter night at our mutual friend's hunting lodge. We came back indoors, laughing, giddy as teenagers. It was truly like an enchanted time, like we were in a magic circle where no sorrow or pain could touch us. My love, we don't have a lot of photos of ourselves as a couple, so this one is quite important. The guy who snapped this, our host that night, used an actual film camera. It was a different world back then. My love, Serena enjoyed spice in our life. I preferred it more bland. We were so different on some points. The furniture came with the cabin. Considering how off the beaten path this place is, that helped make up our mind. Sometimes she would brush her leg against mine under the table when we were eating. A curious, sensual thrill. So much wisdom and happiness in this bookcase. My life would have been much poorer without all this. The smell of old books is intoxicating. What happens to wood pulp as it ages gives it that distinctive vanilla smell. I loved it when we took down one of my favorites and curled up on the bed to read together as the wind howled outside on cold winter nights. Most of the books are mine, but all of hers are still here too. A lot of rarities and special editions here. I didn't lend out my Necronomicon, did I? No, of course not. Most of the books are mine, but all of hers are still here too. A lot of rarities and special editions here. Sharing meals with a good red wine was one of the great pleasures in our relationship, especially in the intimacy of this cabin. I should probably eat. Can't remember the last time I ate, yet I don't feel hungry. I have more pressing things on my mind right now than culinary exploits. So many afternoons spent in this armchair.
Come sit with me. I want to talk. And cuddle.
What did we talk about? Damn this fallible memory of mine. The most comfortable spot in the cabin, well, along with the bed, of course. I can imagine her cuddling up to me even now, putting her hand under my shirt. This window never got much attention. Then again, the view isn't nearly as spectacular. Priorities, right? I guess it's covered with grease and grime from cooking, mostly. "Come, love, with peace in your heart," said Niamh of the ice-blue eyes. Blue eyes. It's based on an Irish folktale. Warrior poet O'Sheen goes to Tirnanog, a Celtic otherworld known as the Land of Youth and Promise. Niamh is of the Fey folk, the fair ones, fairies. Weird mix of doggerel and artistry. The elemental imagery is evocative, but the language and structure are a bit quaint. Still, some lines jump out at you. I've always been drawn to things that are kind of both good and bad at the same time. Maybe because that's so like life. My grandma introduced me to these old legends when I was just a kid, in between stories of what she could still remember of her childhood in the old country. Weird mix of doggerel and artistry. The elemental imagery is evocative, but the language and structure are a bit quaint. Still, some lines jump out at you. We use this trunk to store trinkets and papers, but I can't help thinking there's something of importance inside. It's too painful. I want to, but not yet. She made this with her own hands. She was really good.
Look what I made, hun, in case we ever need to sweep something under the carpet. See the pattern of yellow squares? It's from this rug I remembered from my nursery. I must have been like 3 or 4, but it always stuck with me.
And no trap door under there, just more creaky floor. Our refuge from the world, a place of warmth and passion. Sometimes we joked we needed to be so far out in the woods because that's how our sex life was, far out. The furniture came with the cabin, but the bedclothes we brought with us. A place like this needs some luxury, but without her, there are no monsters under the bed. I guess they're all in my head. I feel too restless to sleep right now. The clock is a trophy from our flea market adventures. Chalk this particular purchase up to "Every cabin needs one." The ticking begins to feel homey after a while. The first night was a nightmare, though. Time never mattered much to us while we were hiding from the rest of the world here, as long as we were together and happy. It's a beautiful day, though there's an unnatural calm surrounding the area. I've always loved the hazy afternoon shades of this place. There's a strand of blonde hair in the comb. Yes, blonde hair like sun rays. I'm remembering. What's wrong with my memory? Did I have a stroke? She also had a brush, but I can't see it anywhere. nor some of her other personal items. It's just a regular comb bought from a supermarket, new enough to still have all its teeth. Hers. I used it too, when shaving. There's only an outhouse, and for some reason, whoever erected the rickety thing didn't think to include wall-to-wall mirrors, so this came in handy. They prevent my blood pressure from skyrocketing. Doctor's orders. And Serena's. These keys are for the cabin and the car.
Dearest, how do I say any of this? I like your way with words, but if I don't write this, I don't know what I'll do. My life feels so unreal now, dreamlike, but wonderfully so. Let me try, even if clumsily. The hours I spent with you when we last met are precious to me. I was so lost such a short time ago. Everything seemed drained of color and feeling. I think we were meant to find each other, to bring meaning to our lives again, make sense of the confusion shrouding both of us. When we stepped into the crystal silence of the snowy woods, away from the chatter of the guests, all nature seemed expectant, as if holding its breath, witnessing a rare moment of something infinitely better than what life in the ordinary run of things has to offer. Do you remember how the light crust of the snow glittered in the reflected light of the country house? How the copse of trees in which we walked was haloed with a magical aura? I felt the chill of the night air, and you opened your coat and enfolded me in your arms, and we hugged tight, sharing the warmth, sharing the only thing any of us have to share on this earth when you think about it. And then you toppled us on the snow, you devil. We laughed and rolled around, my head already spinning from the wine and crisp, pure night air and the stillness all around. We lay back, and I gasped when I realized what I was seeing. The luminous starscape, like a vast velvet cloth sprinkled with powdered sugar, like it can only be seen in the countryside. I had tears in my eyes when I turned to you and we kissed, and it felt like the only moment in all of time, or outside time, and ours was the only spark that could ignite the universe. You gave me these moments. You complete me in ways I never knew to dream of. Let me be the one who makes sense of the confusion whenever you feel lost again. We can make our own world against the rest of the world if need be. Together we can silence all the demons, heal all the wounds. I love you. In eternity yours, Serena.
It's been so long since I said her name out loud. I think that's the moment I fell in love with her, when she told me the soothing sound of her name.
So glad to meet you. My name is Serena.
My heart is racing. I can't help but feel there's something I have to do. She used to keep magazines, paperback novels, usual stuff on these nightstands when we were staying here. She is fairly religious. Not me. I'm the cold and cynical bastard. But I don't remember that ever being an issue between us. She adored all things of nature. I remember her long walks out in the woods. Curiously, we never brought many plants inside the cabin. We were surrounded by so many outside, I guess we were saturated by them. At least I was. Maybe I should have let her bring some plants inside. She liked them a lot. A plant is a plant. Beautiful to some, boring to others. She always thought our relationship was a blessing. God, how I miss her. No longer the cynical asshole, I guess. Her faith came as a surprise to me. She was never prudish about sex, so I just didn't expect it. I guess people simply aren't that predictable. No, I don't want to read right now. Especially not a Bible. Quite a large armoire for our admittedly Spartan needs. She uses most of it. We all have our skeletons in the closet, but not Serena. She was perfect. I'm not sure why, but I don't feel like opening it. The sole thought of it drains what little energy I have left in me. No, I don't want to leave right now. There's still something for me in here. It's deep into summer, so there's a few hours left until it gets dark. She also had a brush, but I can't see it anywhere, nor some of her other personal items. It's just a regular comb bought from a supermarket. Should I dust for fingerprints? I might if I were in a detective story. After all these years, it permanently smells of her and her perfume. The last thing I need now is to see myself in the mirror. I must look awful. There's dust on this, too. It's everywhere.
Dearest. And then you toppled us on the...
I don't sleep well without Serena next to me. Both a blessing and a curse, I suppose. We used to keep a pitcher of water and a glass on this nightstand, but they're not here now. There's a thick layer of dust and an almost invisible outline where we kept the water pitcher. It hasn't been long enough for so much dust to accumulate, has it? For some reason, I always slept on the side of the bed closer to the window. Never asked myself why. There are no monsters under the bed. I guess they're all in my head. Unlike its sibling, this lamp would last for months. We found this trunk at a flea market. We used to love rummaging around those in our early years. Big enough for a lifetime of mementos. We hated guns, so we never had any, even out here. But this would have been a good place to keep one, since it can be locked. We found this trunk at a flea market. We used to love rummaging around those in our early years. Big enough for a lifetime of mementos. We hated guns, so we never had any, even out here. But this would have been a good place to keep one, since it can be locked. The table, our dining table. Quite modest, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I could tell plenty of stories about this table. To be honest, I'm surprised it's still in one piece. The dining table was well worn even when we acquired the cabin. You could tell from its appearance that it had been the centerpiece of many happy occasions. And there, our dining table. Quite modest, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Of course, we made love here, too. There was no place in the cabin we didn't before things deteriorated. The most comfortable spot in the cabin, well, along with the bed, of course. There's probably nothing out there that I want to see, anyway. All the stuff I care about is inside. Well, except for Serena. I can make out nothing through this window. I didn't lend out my Necronomicon, did I? No, of course not. Most of the books are mine, but all of hers are still here, too. A lot of rarities and special editions here. I didn't lend out my Necronomicon, did I? Most of the books are mine, but a lot of rarities and special editions here. I could tell plenty of stories about this table. To be honest, I'm surprised it's still in one piece. The dining table was well worn even when we acquired the cabin. You could tell from its appearance that it had been the centerpiece of many happy occasions. And this one wobbles. I always meant to do something about that, but somehow never got around to it. This used to be her favorite spot. She used to sit here, put her legs on the table, lean back, and just give me one of her smiles. Once we dragged these chairs out to the lake and scrubbed off all the dust and grime of years. That was a long time ago. For all the charm of furniture like this, something about it reminds me of Ingmar Bergman. Sort of brooding. Our dining table. Quite modest, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We don't have a lot of photos of ourselves as a couple, so this one is quite important. The guy who snapped this, our host that night, used an actual film camera. It was a different world back then. It's different. But that just... it can't be different. Am I going mad? Somehow she looks sadder than I remembered. Could I really have been so wrong about that night? My love. Is there anything worse than beautiful memories turning to dust? I feel like I don't even have the strength to lift the lid. What once gave me so much joy now fills me with sorry. We found this trunk at a flea market. We used to love rummaging around those in our early years.
My light's busted again. Can I come over to your side and read?
Let's face it, her reading material was shallow, to say the least.
Don't let the bedbugs bite. I'm the only one allowed to do the biting here.
I can almost feel her hair tickling my neck, the intoxicating smell of her skin. Proust wrote all his life about the associative power of tastes and smells. He spent his last years in retreat from the world, though, writing in a cork-lined bedroom. It's too tangy, too poignant. It brings it all back.
Do I even matter to you anymore? Do you even notice anything I do? How I look? How I smell?
We were happy for a long time, at least I think we were. But as time passed, we fought about every little thing, even this. I keep looking at her things, remembering all the good and bad. Depends on how you look at it. Either a wonderful sensory stimulant and aphrodisiac, or a subtle weapon in the mating rituals of Homo sapiens. We were happy for a long time, at least I think we were. But as time passed, we fought about every little thing, even this. I didn't cook much for her, always so worried about my stuff. She actually threw this at me once. She could have killed me. That's how the bedroom window got that crack.
Here's your stupid omelet.
Heavy damn thing. Cast iron. All of these pathetic souvenirs from our relationship, they're all lies. I couldn't care less about this damn thing. I torture myself trying to remember. I'm too upset to even think straight. I hate her so much. All of these pathetic souvenirs from our relationship, they're all lies. I couldn't care less about this damn thing.
I sit here on the train, taking me to my final farewell to the ones who brought me to this world. I see the smiling couples on their way to new adventures and think, it used to be us. We had joy and laughter and friends once, but a memory is not the thing itself. You're very good at letting things you don't want to face slip off you. You continue as if nothing has changed, lost in your own lifeless world. Words and dreams may be enough for you. You know what? You'll get a chance to test that soon. I question how I once saw things. How much of what I thought we had were my own feelings, and how much of your manipulation, because you are so very good with words, aren't you? You knew how to use them when we met, and for the longest time, I went along with the romantic whirl you conjured up around our shabby, isolated existence. Oh, it took me long enough to see it for what it was. And there were these moments that you swept me off on foolish flights of fancy, and I threw myself into your fantasies. You wove your spell, plying me with your magic and with wine in equal measure, and I was taken in like the lost little girl I was. Do you realize all the pain you've caused me? They say if you have to ask whether someone loves you, you already know the answer. Protestations to the contrary can no more convince me any more than I can make my own mother or father draw breath again. Your aloofness tells a different story. I no longer know what you're thinking. With my parents gone and with your refusal to even accompany me in my time of need, something broke. Or maybe it happened long ago, but I never saw it so clearly before, even after everything. I don't make you feel comfortable? Really? That's all you have to say? I won't waste any more life waiting for things that'll never come. Of course, that's what you expect me to do. Play the good wife so no one will laugh at you for being the failure you are, to shield you from the truth of your existence. Lost in your books and vapid verse, blithely drifting into the mists of time, as if not even a footnote, when you could be raking at it if you'd only used your words for anything other than personal indulgence. You talked and talked about your path, the winter blueness of my eyes, all that nonsense, and the years rolled by, the seasons came and went, on, you pursuing your dreams that will never be, lost in your damned words, looking for clues you'll never find. I'm sure you're doing it even now with your rotting books. You took the best years of my life, and gave only empty words in return. We've gone as far as we can, and something's got to give. S.
Now I remember. It was me all the time. I lost her, and it's all my fault. The jewelry box. What is it doing here? It's just a bunch of schmaltzy junk. A shrine to naivety. I don't see anything else of value. I should just destroy this useless junk, but not even the venom inside me gives me strength. Why torture myself trying to remember? I'm too upset to even think straight. I hate her so much. All of these pathetic souvenirs from our relationship, they're all lies.
Sit down, we need to talk.
She's angry now. Part of me realizes I should be more shocked by this, but for some reason, I just feel numb, beyond it. She was lying to me and manipulating me all the time. Why did I let her do that? I'm the one who should have been scowling. She played me like a harp and made me look like a complete idiot. I couldn't care less about this damn thing. Her wedding ring or mine? But what is it doing here? Oh, please, no. It's hers. I can't believe she would just leave it here. Where the hell is she? No. It can't. No, I didn't do it. I need to wake up from this nightmare. I remember how happy these made her. She smiled. That wonderful smile. I must have gifted these to make amends or something. Or did I? Did I ever gift her anything? Why torture myself trying to remember? She loved her trinkets more than she loved me, right?
Do you realize how stupid this was? We had a
My
plan.
God.
I took measures to ensure
What is
nothing
this?
like this would happen.
It can't.
But no,
It isn't.
Damn self. We can't risk moving it now. The
How
bulldozers
did
are
it happen?
coming any minute.
I can't remember.
It's all covered. He spent much time here.
It's already rotten beyond recognition.
All this time,
But how much time has passed?
since you
It's dry
fine.
and withered. A body takes at least weeks to... I can't even remember how I did it. Maybe I didn't. Do I have brain damage?
Do you realize how stupid
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
I took measures to ensure nothing like this would happen. But no, we can't risk moving it now. The bulldozers are coming any minute.
Don't worry. It's all covered. He spent much time here.
Do you think they will buy it after all this time?
Fire will do it.
It's been months since you... Do you realize how stupid this was? We had a plan. I took measures to ensure nothing like this would happen. But no, you couldn't help your damn self. We can't risk moving it now. The bulldozers are coming any minute.
Fire will do it.
Do you think they will buy it after all this time? It's been months since you...
Don't worry. It's all covered. He spent much time here.
Fine, give me the kerosene. Oh shit! We forgot your... Fuck! It was so stupid to leave it. Why did you do that?
Can you calm down? I couldn't bear to wear it any longer. It's in a safe place. We'll pick it from the ashes.
No, not like this. Please. No.